Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. I'm back with Aalapti today. So, if you follow me for a while on YouTube, you would have seen Aalapti. We did an episode in Psycho-oncology. Do check it out. If not, so Aalapti is a psycho-oncologist and a music therapist, a practitioner of music therapist, if I'm not wrong, Aalapti, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so great. It would be wonderful, Aalapti, if you could, give more info about you, about your work, what you do. That would be wonderful.
Right. So, as very rightly you have introduced that I am a psycho-oncology researcher currently, and more than a music therapist, I'm a musician myself.
Yeah.
And throughout the entire journey over the last 3 decades, that music inherently and inevitably and unconsciously has been a therapy for me over several phases and phrases, and I've seen that even people have benefited a lot from that. I'm not so much of a music therapist professionally per se, but yes, I've definitely used and have experienced music as a therapeutic agent a lot many times. Right.
Okay.
And thank you so much for having me here again.
My
It
pleasure.
was a pleasure having spoken to you about psycho-oncology last time, and then we've had so many insightful conversations otherwise also.
Yeah.
And it's a real um, I'm really in awe of you, the way you cover so many facets of psychology and life, and you've so many people who you've been interviewing and putting everything together at one place. It's really a commendable job on
Thank
your
you.
side.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Alafti. Thank you very much. That's kind of you.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Before we get into any conversation, please introduce us to music therapy. What is music therapy? And please give us more info about it.
Okay. Okay. So coming back, I'd first like to ask you, what do you mean by music? Can you define music?
I would define it a rhythm or a tune which makes me happy.
Okay, a rhythm or a tune which makes you happy.
Yeah.
So you yourself have put the feeling part along with the definition of music, right? Exactly. So automatically, when you defined music, you said it makes you feel happy,
Hmm. Yeah. Yes.
right? So if I were to define music therapy, the term music therapy, I would never use the word therapy with music. Music in itself
I see.
inculcates a lot of therapy.
Yeah.
So it is only the last few years that we see the word therapy with music, whereas over decades and centuries, music has always been a part of each and every one of our lives in different ways. So if I were to define music, it is a sound which is pleasing, overcoming the silence. So, if you consider the bass to be silence, so there are two type of sounds that one can make, which we define them as either a noise or a music,
Mhm.
right? So noise is something which would irritate you, and music is something which is pleasing.
Yeah.
So just before, um, coming online with you, I was searching for the definition of music therapy and music.
Okay.
I mean, I wanted to see what people and what dictionaries, the lexicons define music as. So I found a lot, and I'll just want to read out one of the definitions that I found. It says a sound perceived as pleasingly harmonious,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? So it doesn't have to be a rhythm. It doesn't have to be a combination of instruments. It doesn't have to be a combination of notes.
Mhm.
It's just a sound that is perceivably harmonious. So it automatically brings harmony. It automatically brings a sense of calm, a sense of settlement alongside. So, a lot of times you would say, oh, your voice is so beautiful. It's like pouring music in my ears, right? Or the sound of the waves, it's like music to my ears. Or the water falling from a natural waterfall, or a jharna or a jheel, it's like pouring music in my ears. It brings me an effect of calm. A lot of people use the sound of waves to calm them down and to sleep, or the sound of the thunderstorm and the rain. So even that is music. Music doesn't have to be violins and keyboards playing, or drums and tablas and harmoniums playing.
Mm.
And if we go back to the ancient times, if you see the bong in a temple, the see, every culture and every religion and every section of the society has their own types of music, be it what we call as folk music today, or classical music, or Western, or jazz, or blues, or whatever, or Carnatic, or North Indian, or whatever. The Vedic chants, the holy, the bhajans, the hymns, the carols, be it whatever. Music is an inseparable part of life everywhere. The chirping of the birds, it's music. The sound of water is music. The clouds, the rain, the thunderstorm, the lightning, dogs barking, the leaves hustling around, bustling of trees. It's all music. It's all music. So why did we need to consider music as therapy? Right? So a lot of research and a lot of observation by a lot of scientists and psychologists and people around, they noticed even in Indian structures, we have the connection of the 7 body chakras with the 7 notes in our Indian music system, right? And it was noticed that if you separately tend to listen to or cater to a lot of music, it would bring a lot of calm to you. So I personally do not differentiate or do not bifurcate music and music therapy. For me, both are same. Music is therapy. Music is divine. Music is divinity. It's not a path towards divine. It itself is divinity.
Yeah, really.
So,
yes,
I mean, what happens to you? Yeah.
Please continue, Aalapti. Please continue.
Yeah. So what happens when you enter a temple and hundreds of people are singing bhajans or singing holy hymns and holy songs together, and there's something in your heart that pulls you towards that, and even you would start singing and clapping your hands together or closing your eyes and swaying with that rhythm? What is that? That's that very connection of divinity and music.
Yes.
So even divine and music and God and divinity and music and sound, even these are not separate things. All of these things are also same. Right. So when I was reading the definitions of music, I came across this terminology, something in old Greek language, which said it's an art of the muses. So something that muses you, the art of that is music. Right? So this is how I define music therapy. I'm sure music therapists these days would have definitely a different definition of music therapy. But this is what I perceive from my experience of practicing music, learning music, and experiencing music myself.
Beautiful. You spoke about music being divine. Everything which has maybe the thunder, the storm, everything is a music, and I agree to that. I agree to you on that point. But how do you understand that which music is therapeutic and can help you, and which is not and which can't help you?
So all music is therapeutic.
Okay.
Okay. Even if someone likes the loud jazz, dancey, rhythmy, bumpy, if that music also makes someone happy, even that music is therapeutic. So it is all defined on the perception of people. I cannot force everyone to listen to 15 minutes of Om chantings. People may not like it.
Hmm.
Right. So it has to be the particular choice of one specific person. So you cannot, put everyone in one frame that, okay, only this type of music is therapeutic and this is not. Something which I perceive is not good or something which I perceive as noise for me may be music for someone else.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right. So there is no music which is non-therapeutic and there is no music which is therapeutic.
Okay.
So all music is therapeutic. But definitely, yes, there are some specific sounds. There are some specific combination of notes. There are some specific rhythms, some paces, some types of chants, some type of frequencies which really resound with the frequency of the human body that help restore the disconnect which has happened over time.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that may be considered as the seven notes in connection with the chakras of the body, if you want to put it that way. It could be some specific ragas in the Indian system. So ragas is nothing but a combination of specific notes in a bound system that is sung. So a lot of Hindustani rags or a lot of Hindustani melodies are used for different disorders to restore that connection for different disorders. So again, no music is non-therapeutic.
Okay, okay. So yes, you said that of course everybody likes something, and so, anything and everything could be, anything for everyone. But when we have some sleeping sound, sleeping music. So that you can't hear every music to get sleep, right? You won't hear
Correct.
Bollywood songs and then feel that must get sleep, because you won't get it. Yeah. So my question is, how can
No, some people do. I would like to disagree here. Some
okay.
people do.
Okay.
Some
Okay.
people would like to hear dancing numbers before they sleep
Okay.
because that calms them down.
Uh-huh. Okay.
A lot of people who have high blood pressure and who have heart palpitations, um, they tend to connect a lot with bumpy dancing numbers.
Mhm.
So they say that their heartbeat matches the rhythm of that song and that calms them down.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, forget everyone else. I for myself, I would listen to pure classical music, which goes on top notch of rhythm and expertise and technique before I sleep.
Okay.
So that is my way of winding down.
Okay. Okay.
So wind, yes. So here I would like to disagree that you would always want to have. Yes, most of the times you have calming sounds when you want to wind down from the day, but that also differs from person to person. So calming sounds are mostly either the sound of the flute is very calming, or some Vedic chants, they're very calming. mm, the thunderstorm, a lot of people get calm by the sound of thunderstorms and lightning, myself included. The oceanic waves. So these are all very calming, and one of the greatest reasons of them being calming is because it follows a cyclical rhythmic pattern. So when you fall into that pattern, the same thing, it's just like watching a pendulum, and you would get semi hypnotized by that. So that sound again creates the same kind of atmosphere, and you tend to follow that same rhythmic pattern, and that brings your entire energy to a central point, and you calm down and you wind down and you tend to sleep.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's the basic structure around it.
Okay. Okay. Uh, what kind of effects can that have on a person's mind? And of course, we spoke about it calming and helping. But what more can it help to a human being than just calming?
It could make you happy. It could make you burst out into emotions. It could make you cry like anything. It could make you hysterically laugh. So it's just a vent out of the never opening up of the emotions. So I think last time also I discussed that always practice some form of art, because art is the best form of expressing yourself. Music, of course, being the best. So even if you do not practice music yourself, even if you are listening to it, because the frequencies and the vibes match, you tend to express, or you tend to emote, or you tend to vent out a lot.
Mhm. Mhm.
So why do you cry on sad songs?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is it that makes you cry? Have you always had the same experience expressed in that song? No, no. It's that particular sound, it's that particular rhythm, it's that particular combination of notes, the situation, and everything that makes you cry.
Hmm. Hmm.
Why do you feel elated on listening to a romantic Bollywood song? Or why do you always feel like dancing on a peppy number?
Yeah.
Right? So people do a lot of Zumba these days, which is nothing but dancing around on peppy numbers, bouncy songs. So that is nothing but relativeness, or the relativity of the emotions with those sounds. So it's not only calming down, it's a burst of emotions that you would feel, or you would experience on listening to some type of music.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Great. I'm sorry. So,
One of the most common things of saying is, let's set the mood with music.
music. Yeah.
Music sets mood.
Good. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, how can somebody, um, of course, we had a discussion on this, that there is everybody likes different kind of music, and there is different kind of music for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't know how this question would sound, but how what kind of music you must try to hear more, which could help you mentally, mentally, and make you a bit calmer and happy. Of course, the calming music, but more than any kind of music. What kind of music should you try to include in your playlists?
So you should try to include music in your playlist that makes you declog of all the negativity in your life temporarily. So that could be, calming sounds. You find a lot of music in terms of relaxing music on YouTube. If you put relaxing music, you'll find hours and hours of music around. Sometimes it's the symphonies played by Mozart or Beethoven.
Mm.
They are calming.
Yeah.
And you can include Vedic chants in your daily playlists. A lot of Buddhist chants, people tend to hear to them a lot.
Yeah.
They calm them down. So and nothing better than classical music,
Yes.
Indian classical music.
Yeah.
And for Western people, Western classical music.
Classical music.
Nothing better than that. Nothing better than that.
Okay. Okay. Great. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So I think we these were the questions I had. If you would like to add upon something more, Alapti, please go ahead.
So I think we have covered most of the things that we wanted to do. But again, I really vouch for practicing any form of art. It doesn't always have to be music. You might not be a good singer, but you can always become a good listener. So always tend to, either practice some form of art on a daily basis,
Mhm.
or on a regular interval basis. And listening to music for at least 10 to 15 minutes a day, it must become a daily practice. You know, a lot of psychiatrists, a lot of psychologists, a lot of mental health practitioners, of course, musicians, every day in their routine, it is a time bound practice that they listen to a particular form of music to unwind or to break from their professional and personal lives, or to create that divide between the hassles that they've had the entire day and to come back to their normalized self at home. So listening to music, be it two or three of your favorite songs from your movies, or be it a small piece of a specific raga if you want, anything that you like, must listen to music for at least 10-15 minutes a day. Make it a habit. Make it a habit. You know what? Music, only listening to music, uses much more of your brain, the parts of your brain, than it would to solve a difficult mathematical problem.
Okay.
So it's been proven now. It's in the research, because mathematical problems were perceived to be something that would utilize the maximum part of your brain, but music is a notch higher. So even if you listen to music, you use a lot of your brain, which is otherwise unused. So that's the best way to practice to exercise your brains. And if you play an instrument or if you sing, nothing like it. You use so much of your brain, you use so much of your analytical skills, you use so much of mathematical skills, you use so much of intellect when you practice music, be it an instrument, be it vocals, be it anything. So I mean, I think that is the, if even if you feel that you are not in the need of getting music therapy, but even if you want to simply exercise your brain, so rather than playing games on your mobile phone, you can practice music.
Yeah, really, really true. So thank you very, very much, Aalapti, for joining us again for a second episode on music therapy and the first one on the music therapy. It was a pleasure, and it is always a pleasure to have you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much for being here.
Thank you so much for bringing me here again and to discuss this topic. And I hope that people really benefit from it. And all my social handles are open for any kind of help anyone would want. And I mean, more the merrier.
Yeah. So you can always, Aalapti is there.
Yeah.
Just reach out to her, and she's always there to help. So again, thank you very, very much for being here. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.